Our spiritual journey requires effort. Effort meaning vigorous, determined attempts. Sometimes it's forced, going and strenuous. Sounds like a fun ride, huh? So what does that kind of sometimes could look like in your life? Could be classes, retreats, seminars, iPods, books, listen or read. We got to watch movies so we can stay up to date on media and aware, right? And of course we have to take care of ourselves, our diet and our exercise and our relationships, and meditate for a few hours and watch the news so we're up to date and conscious. Anybody want to shave their head and hike the Himalayas with me? I mean, seriously, that is it's overwhelming sometimes as to what all can be available. And this is just a thumbnail, because there's so many modalities and classes available. And I don't want to demean any of these, because every one of these are ones I've done, I offer, but it's different with the intention, okay? Because these are valuable tools, but it's like nothing's wrong with them, but what is the intention that you're going at it? Are you taking classes because there's something wrong with you? Are you taking doing these modalities because you need fixed? Or you're not enough? Are you doing these things because somebody or something has the answers out there that you don't have yourself? That's the key intention, the key part of whatever you do. Because let's face it, we're programmed to be doers. We just like to do stuff. Let's be honest, how many in this room could stay in their PJs all day long without at least having a moment or two through the day where you kind of, oh my God, what am I doing? I should. Seriously, I can't. You guys have come a long way. Good for you. I'm getting there. What if I said something really crazy, like the effort that we need to do is to be? Is to just really invest in being, because the core part is being still. In Psalms 46:10 it says, "Be still and know that I am God." It doesn't say jump up and vacuum and clean and do your laundry and make sure you do, all that kind of stuff. It says, be still. Be still. So our true power is in our self-care and our self-awareness. Now I know the word narcissist is thrown around a lot, that self-absorption. That's not what we're talking about. This is about self-care and self-love, because this is an inside job, and it starts inside of you, as simple as smiling rather than struggling, letting go of resistance, being honest about control. It's an illusion. What do we really have control over? Nothing. Seriously, there's so few things we truly have control over besides ourselves. So relax, breathe, find your calm, because life's not a race. This is not a destination to win, to get to, because let me tell you, the destination is death. At least this lifetime is over. It's about living it now, about realizing how good it is and how wonderful it is, and being thankful for it and grateful for it, and experiencing it at your own pace, without comparison. So this is an important part of this, because I think we often are driven because we're not, we are, we aren't, they are, whatever. And the thing of it is you all know things that you all don't. And you all know things that they don't. You all have mastered things that they haven't mastered. You all have mastered things that they haven't mastered. And this is a good thing, because not only can we learn from each other, but it's about being real, that the energy transfer is real. Now you all know Amy Cami. Most of you have probably seen her when she comes in and does her thing. Whether you were here or just refreshing or letting you know. She brought in this thing where she had 2 tuning forks. And she tapped the one and it began to vibrate and sing. And then one next to it, without ever being touched, began to vibrate and sing. Then she took this little Velcro thing and she put it on the prong of the second one. And she tapped it again. And since there had been an adjustment to that second one, only the first one vibrated. Now, this works both ways, because not only are we transferring energy between each other, but we're also affecting and transferring the energy within ourselves based on how we talk to ourselves, how we treat ourselves. And the beauty of this is, guys, how important this is that anytime we share and exchange and lift our frequencies, the whole of humanity goes up a notch. That's how important it is. Your little accomplishment adds to the whole of humanity. Are you getting that? So it's not just important to find a good energy, but it's also important to protect it. It's okay to choose wisely people, places, and things that you participate in. Because I tell you what, I know it's hard with all this stuff going on around us that seems so real. The most important thing to your existence here is your connection to your higher self and to the divinity. That is truly what the core purpose and reason is, to have that strength and consciousness and awareness and operate from it. Because we aren't taught to do. And we love to effort. It's so funny. I'm just going to give you one example because it applies to everything. But think about when somebody decides to start a new exercise regime. You might Google some stuff, you might ask some other people, you get a little research, you might even hire a trainer, you might even invest in a gym membership. You might go online and download some videos to watch those, and oh, it's great, right? You get to go out and buy some new shirts and pants and shoes and socks and jackets so that you can make sure you're working out in the right thing, Sometimes we buy equipment. Tell me, anybody else got those rubber bands in a box in a closet somewhere? Yes, thank you. I know I'm not the only one. Because we really get into it, don't we? We really effort it. But the truth of staying healthy is to give your body the love and the support that it really deserves. Because you're worth it, and you matter, and you're enough. And that way, the gains that you get are truly going to be maintainable, because they're coming from the inside out. Because no matter what, how many times have people spent hours in the gym and they're still unhappy with something? There's always something. But if you love and support your body and you feel good about it, so think about how many things we do in our life that we effort that strongly about. Everything. Google's our friend because we research everything. But again, it's back to the intention. My friend and I actually have this ongoing joke about how we attach our meaning and our value to our productivity. And we'll text each other throughout the day and say, "Are you being productive? Are you being productive?" And it's the joke because we're trained to be productive. We attach ourselves and our value and our self-esteem to, what all have I done today? What have I gotten done? And all these things, checklists off my laundry list or to-do list or whatever. But really, what would happen if we focused on the experience of joy and happy and peace, and then produced from that point and from that place? I'm thinking that would be pretty productive. How much do we prioritize our spirituality and how important that is? Like our life depends on it, because it does. Your spiritual connection, it's everything. So ask yourself throughout the day, how much of my day am I in vibrational harmony? Happy, satisfied, content, glad? Is what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, meeting the desires of who I am and who I want to be and where I want to go and what I want to be? having a real commitment to ourselves and feeling good. What do you have to lose? I mean, being happy? I mean, seriously? Happy people aren't mean. Happy people aren't grumpy. Happy people aren't out there hurting other people. What's the drawback, you know, of trying to keep that vibration up there as much as you can? And so much of it is the practices that we do every day. You know, it's like, because if you start your day, even if you set your alarm, everybody got a 9-minute snooze pretty much, either do 9 or 18 minutes, whatever you can work in. Set the alarm before you actually have to get out of bed and intentionally lay there and say, this is going to be a good day. I'm worthy of a good day. I deserve a good day. I am good enough for a good day. No matter what happens, I'm going to be good today. You know, with that kind of mentality, it's almost impossible to have a bad day anymore. Not that stuff's still not going to happen, but coming from that place of training yourself and actually committing to really investing in yourself like that is going to make a difference in your whole day. Gratitude is like so amazing. You know, Abraham Hicks has this amazing, what does she call them? Rages? Is it something like that? I don't know if you guys remember. Rampage. Rampage, that's it, thank you. She has this rampage where she like, I love my pillow, I love my pillowcase, I love my sheets, I love my bed, I love that I've got AC, I love that, you know, whatever it is, that's it. Wallow in it. Wallow in it. And that everything that you encounter and do during the day, just keep doing that. Because this has a much bigger impact on us than what we realize by the people, places, and things that we choose and how we discern to give ourselves and our time. So one of my clients, we had this amazing breakthrough, and I made sure she was okay with me sharing this. I'm not going to use names or anything, but so for a while now, we've been working on self-esteem, how she talks to herself, how she feels about herself, and starting to do things that you know, feed that. And she was really gaining some momentum. She was feeling good, she was happy, and there were people that were noticing. The lady at the front desk at one point was like, man, I love seeing you every day. You walk up here smiling and cheerful, and you make my day. I'm so glad to see you. And she's like, oh, you know? And then one of her clients asked her to do something, and she's like, okay, I'll take care of that. And her client was like, but wait a minute, I just asked you to come out of the box, and this is probably going to derail everything you're supposed to do today. And she goes, that's okay, I'm still going to have fun doing it. People were noticing, and she was feeling really good until she got on the phone with one of her friends. And in this hour-long conversation, they talked about the state of affairs of the world. Now, mind you, it was not confrontational, it was not argumentative, it was more like, did you hear? Yeah, and this, and oh, you know. So she gets off the phone, and she gets up to start moving around, and her knee hurts so bad she can't even hardly move. She's like, oh my God. And then, of course, her human default kicks in. What did I do? I'm going to have to cut back on my exercise. I'm going to have to cut back on my hours. I'm going to call my doctor and all this good stuff. All the momentum came to a screeching halt. So she did call me, and we set up an appointment. I got her in as soon as possible, and we were able to shift the fact of what a real gift this was. Because oftentimes we use and abuse our body mentally, emotionally, and physically for a long time before finally something kicks up and says, I'm here. Whether it's a backache, a knee ache, a neck ache, whatever, you know, or emotions, whatever. So we talked through this, we worked through it. She sees that this is a gift. She sees that this was in your face, immediate. I'm doing great. One interaction that triggered her, that she absorbed, brought her energy down. We talked about how she could maybe detract from it the next time if it ever happens again. And again, this was not confrontational. It wasn't even an ugly conversation, actually. It was just the content. But she decided next time this is going to be different. If it comes up again, I'm just going to move the conversation. She's a conversationalist. She can do this. So it's just that kind of stuff. This is how immediate it can be, that we are taking our energy and our emotions and turning it into physical things. So, the other thing that hit me the other day that I thought was really amazing, I was watching this TV show, and you know how they rate them. And then they give you reasons why it's rated, so that you know if it's going to offend you or trigger you or hurt you or whatever. And it can be anything from sex to violence to drugs to suicide or whatever. So I'm watching this show the other day, and I look up there and I notice they have fear. I'm like, whoa, they know. They know this. They know that they are eliciting fear. Now, the ironic thing is it's a show about politics and the government and how it operates. And it's a good show because, you know, they're always solving world problems and stuff, but still, I was like, yeah, that's definitely ironic. So anyway, she was seized by fear, and it physically affected her. Be aware of what you're subjecting yourself to and what could potentially be causing you different fears. And honestly, I still, you know I'm Susie Sunshine, Pollyanna, whatever, but I really do believe strongly that people are getting it. They really are. And this isn't something you're going to see on the news. This is not something you're going to see viral on media. It's when you slow down and you take the time to actually look and notice, you will start to see the quiet stillness in people's hearts coming out. The smiles, the opening the doors, the nice things we do for each other, letting somebody go first, just all kinds of different things that are happening in our world. You know, and this is affecting our energy, and people are understanding that where you put your attention is where your energy flows. So they're consciously starting to take responsibility for where that goes and stop it when it's not. Because like we have a plan now how if the conversation when we're who, what, when, and where, because obviously this is a friend, there's no reason to not be friends with her, but to how to move through those situations to where you don't absorb it and you don't get caught up in it. Because we don't want to get caught up in the conflict, whether it's verbal or physical, you know. And the thing of it is when we really do operate from that place of divinity, the fear, the greed, the manipulation, the anger, the hate, it just can't exist energetically. When we take responsibility for being the sovereign beings we are and connecting to that divinity. And it's like me creating my own little heaven where I'm doing my healing and I'm connected to my divinity, and you all are doing your healing and creating your own little heaven and connecting to your divinity, and you all are creating your own little heaven and healing and connecting to the divinity. This sounds like a good thing to me. This something I want to be a part of. Because you know what? There's strength in numbers. And if we're all doing this, what we can do in our little world, and we're connecting to the most important thing, the divinity, to God. You know, if you want to talk about control, that's where it's at, if it needs to be. And if I'm going to surrender to anything, I'm good with that. Because that's where I feel like the real living is at. Now I know I've talked to you guys about the eagle and the story about how the crows bother them and how they don't fight it, they don't conflict it, they just fly higher to an atmosphere where the crows can't exist and they fall off. Again, this is what we're supposed to be doing, is being the eagle that soars, that sees, that is the divinity, that lives in the place of tranquility and peace and love, and it just exudes from there. Namaste.